Hey everyone, this is Miss Baxter. Just want to go over 6.5 notes, just so you know. You have today and tomorrow to get the notes done and the assignment done. And then on Thursday, we're gonna do a partner quiz, where you basically get a situation like we're gonna see in number 11, and you're gonna have to fill out the taxes for them. And of course, use a partner. I pre-filled these out. I couldn't read my notes for this one right here or that word right there. I'm not quite sure what those are, but I got this to you later. But basically, let's go through these real quick. The nice thing about having a recording is you can pause it as needed, rewind whatever you need to, make sure you get the important things down. So first off, we're going to talk about the 1040 and some of these other forms that go along with the 1040. So, such as the schedules A and B, and we'll talk about schedule 1 as well. But people don't like paying taxes, but it's necessary to raise money for the government. You can lower your tax burden if you learn about taxes. So there are many different sources of income: stock dividends, interest, pensions, unemployment insurance, alimony, prizes, etc. The Schedule B is used to list sources of interest and dividend income if they exceed $1,500. So that's important. So whenever we see exceed 1,500, we need to make sure we're using a Schedule B. Okay. Deductions lower your taxable income, which means you pay a lower income tax. There are many deductions that the government allows taxpayer to use to lower the amount they pay in taxes. So they calculate a portion of your medical bills. So if you do have a lot of medical bills one year, any donations to charity, whether it is money or items. Okay. And then we're going to see a bunch because we're going to do some of these together. So there's the 1040, which you know. Here's the Schedule 1 that we're going to talk about. Okay. It's all Schedule 1. Schedule A, this is the itemized, so we're going to really dig into that. And then Schedule B, this is what we're just talking about. So if there's interest or ordinary dividends, remember, it has to be, we use this form when it's greater than $1,500. Okay, in interest and ordinary dividends. Okay, so let's see, what are some other things we don't that we can write off? Let's see, mortgage payments, interest on student loans, property taxes, I believe, not mortgage interest. Let me just double check. I can't read my notes is the problem. I'm gonna say mortgage interest because I think that's correct. And many more things. So as we go through, you'll kind of see some of these things. I'm trying to read my notes and they are blurry. Okay. So these deductions are filed using an additional form, and I'll show you the Schedule A and the Schedule 1. Okay. Tax credits are another way to reduce your taxes. This is an amount you subtract from your tax after you have figured it, calculated it. If you use a rule to your advantage to lower your tax burden, you're not breaking any laws. It's just called tax avoidance. If you lie about items on your tax return, it's called tax evasion. That's a crime. So don't lie, right? And then let's say a family had 1123 in bank interest, must then report it on a Schedule B. And this is no, because it's less than the $1,500 that we talked about. I just thought of another one. Job expenses that aren't covered or reimbursed. Not reimbursed by the company. We'll think of more as we go. Okay, so let's look at number 11. We've got Margaret and Bill O'Sullivan are married. They have one child, Carol. Margaret works for a sports cable station and Brian is a cameraman. They have combined wages, so they gave us the combined wages instead of the W-2s. They also had interest, 812, 877. So in bank interest, we just add those together. This up a little bit. There we go. Okay, 812 plus 877. So just in bank interest alone, there that tells us we have to use a Schedule 1. Okay, and then they have stock dividends from 2 places. So we add those together. $16,444. And then during the year, she won 300 in the lottery. So that's gonna be our Schedule B. So this is our Schedule 1. This is our Schedule B. Okay, because we won lottery, we got an additional, some kind of a prize, okay? So, let's see what else. Find their total income. And then we're gonna get started. We got more information on the next page. So this will help us when we start itemizing, but let's get started on our tax form. So grab your 1040. And we know their names, Margaret and Brian O'Sullivan. And Margaret. I'm gonna hit pause for a second. You guys keep filling it in. Crap, push the wrong button. Let's try this again. Okay, fill in their social security numbers, married, filing jointly. Okay, let's see on the back. Let's read if there's anything else. She teaches a night course. She has educator expenses. This is a nice tax deduction because it's teacher expenses. They also had some moving expenses. Now, that used to be any moving expenses, you used to be able to put itemized. Now the only moving expenses you could do is if it's for military. So we'll just say it's for military. They had medical insurance and had 18,800 in medical expenses last year, but it only covers 80% of their expenses. So they pay only 20%. So let's see. They had 18,800. What 20% of that is? Okay. Because that's what they actually paid. So 18,800 times 0.2. So they paid 3760 in medical for that year. Okay, let's see. The IRS allows medical and dental deductions, so it doesn't exceed a certain percentage of the, we'll see that when we get to that part. The O'Sullivans paid this in state income taxes. That's another itemized deduction. Real estate taxes, mortgage interest, all of these can be deducted. So this is going to go on to our Schedule A. Schedule A. They also gave $987 and they donated worth of clothes. Okay, so there's more deductions. Unfortunately, they had some flood damage that was not covered by insurance. This is going to go into the Schedule A as well. We got the job travel expenses. Just a note, you can't deduct driving to and from work. That's not tax deductible. So this is like traveling his personal car for work reasons. So when he has to go, to a different city or something like that. And it's based on the mileage. Margaret and Brian belong to unions. Used to be able to pay, used to be able to deduct union dues. So we'll see that. Brian took 2 college classes for a total tuition of this. Okay, so this is all Schedule A stuff. So it looks like they don't have any kids. All right. Okay, so now let's get started. Let's go back. Keep going. So no kids, so we don't have to worry about that section. Because that would be the next section. We always fill out that top. Then we look at the dependents. We don't have any, so they don't get any child tax credit. And now we want that total amount from box one. That was their combined wages of $96,521. Okay. And then we go down to Z, add lines 1 through H. That's just the 96,521. Okay, now to do our next portion, we need to look at Schedule 1. So, let's see. Let's go to Schedule 1. Okay. Oh, additional income. Nope. Let's go to Schedule B. That's my bad. Call the wrong thing. Schedule B. So to use when it's greater than $1,500. So in interest, we already kind of added these up. They had the two banks. So we had the bank, Seaford Bank, and that was 812. And then they had Buffalo Bank. That was 877. We already added that up. 1689. So 1689. And then we look at the stock dividends. They had GM and they had Apple. So GM gave them $444, Apple $1,200, and that added up to that 1644. Okay. Now let's go the rest of the stuff we don't have to worry about. So if I combine the two, oh yeah, there we go. So this one says enter it onto the form 1040. This one says enter it to 1040. So this is the 1644. So that has to be filed with the taxes. Oh, sorry. I just realized I didn't have it all the way down. Okay. This sheet has to be filed with taxes because these two numbers were over the 1,500, or combined, they're over 1,500. So when I come back here, we can now enter them. Taxable interest, that was the 1689. Dividends, 1644. Okay, we didn't have any of these other things. So now on line 9, add these up. Oh wait, additional income. That's right. She did do something, right? Where was it? $300 in the lottery. Okay. So that's our additional income, Schedule 1. All right, guys. So this one right here, the lottery, that's Schedule 1. Okay. Of course, it's not showing. So the $300 that she won in the lottery has to be on Schedule 1. So we go to Schedule 1 and we know, let's look for gambling. She won $300 that we've got to tell them about. So then it says combine them all up, additional income's $300. So at the bottom, we got that. Okay, so you can see all these different things, right? That could be in additional income. So any refunds, credits, any alimony, date of original, like if you had an alimony, business income. So all kinds of things, farm income, rental estate. So all these things, cancellation of debt, anything like this, prizes and awards. So you can see lots of things that could be put onto a Schedule 1. And then you just add them all up if there's a bunch, and then that goes into our 1040. So additional income, Schedule 1, I'm gonna stick it under Schedule B. All right. Oh. There's the educator. Oh, wait, no, we didn't start that one yet. Itemized deductions. Oh, Schedule 1. Educator expenses right there. I forgot we gotta add that in too. Educator expenses, 133. This is the back of Schedule 1. Let's see. Try to think, is there anything else? There's the moving expenses for armed forces, right? Those things we kind of talked about. Okay, total them up. Add lines. These are your adjustments to income, so it's 133. Okay, so back here, adjustments to income, line 26. Did that say to add it to the front page? That says stick it in line 10. So 133 goes where line 10 is. Adjustments to income from line 26. So 133 goes there. Okay. Additional income, Schedule 1, line 10. So that was, I stuck it back here. That's the $300 from line 10. So back on the 1040. Schedule 1, line 10 was the 300. And then Schedule 1, line 26, that's the teacher expenses. Okay, all right. So let's see where we're at now. We're going to subtract line 10 from 9. So there's nothing, 0 there. Oh, add lines. Let's do number 9. Add lines 1 through 8. So we're going to add these all up. Okay. Ugh. I wish I had better pictures because they do not give me the quick answer. Okay, so 96,521 plus, I guess I could have started here. 1689 plus 1644 plus 300 gives us 100,154. Okay. Then it says subtract 10 from line 1. So we're going to take that number minus 133. So $100,021. Okay, now we got to look at our deductions. If our deductions are more than the 27,700, then we will, if they're more, the itemized is more, we're going to use that we get from Schedule A. If it's not, then we use the standard deduction. Okay, so now we're going to go and do our itemization. So grab your Schedule A form. Schedule 1, just go back here. Schedule A. Now, these are all the other things that we had on that back of our note sheet. Okay, we got all of that in there. Check, check, check. Okay. And it's good to just go through and check off what you've done already. So we've got the educator in. All right. So now we're gonna go to read through this. Medical and dental, we calculated they spent 3,760. So 3,760. Then it says enter the amount from line 11. Well, we had 100,021 from line 11 on our 1040. Okay. Then it says multiply line 2 by 7.5%. So you can only deduct 7.5% of your adjusted gross income. So I'm gonna multiply that by 0.075. Okay. So okay, now it says that we need to subtract 3 from line 1, but if 3 is more than line 1, we enter 0. So notice that's bigger, so we can't deduct any of our medical expenses. So it's $0. If it was more than 7.5% of our income, adjusted income, then we could deduct it, but we can't. So now state and local taxes, so we got that in there, medical, done. Okay, that's all done. All right, state income taxes, 5,451. 5,451. Real estate taxes, 6,533. State and local personal property taxes. I don't see that. So then it says add these together. So we're going to take these, add them together. Okay, so I kind of filled in the rest, but we'll talk about them as we go. So we put in those, we add them together. This line E is important. It says enter the smaller of line F, 5D or $10,000. So 5D was more, so we could only deduct 10,000. So that goes over here in number 7. Okay, so we want to make sure we have this far right filled out because that's what we actually add up to figure out what we can itemize. Oh, I just realized I missed a number. Okay, so then our home mortgage interest goes in, and so that comes down, add these lines, 6533, 6533. Okay, and then we have gifts by cash. So that was our charitable donations, the 97 and the 450 added up to 1437. The casualty and loss. So this one, they said that they had flood damage, $11,000 worth. And you can only write off the difference of 10% of your adjusted gross income from that amount. So here's the amount. The adjusted gross income was from line 11, okay, on the 1040. So right here, adjusted gross income. That's the $100,021, okay? So 10% of that, just move your decimal one place. Subtract those, that's what we can write off for the casualty and loss. So we put that in, 1209, and then all the travel expenses, union dues, tuition, add those all up. And then this is where I messed up because I forgot to add in the mortgage interest. So add those together, plus the 6533 is 23,474. Okay. Now remember the standard deduction is 27,000. So if you want to itemize, it's going to only be 23,000 that you will deduct from your adjusted gross income. It'd be better then to go ahead and go back to the 1040. All of these itemizations aren't going to matter because the standard deduction is greater than that number. You want to take the bigger number. So you want the bigger number between what you get for Schedule A or what you get for if you're single, married, filing jointly, or head of household, and so on. So we're going to keep that 27,700. Okay, we don't have any business income. Add lines 12 and 13. So that's the 27,700. And then subtract these guys. That's going to give us our taxable income. now we're gonna take this number, once I get it. Now we're gonna take our taxable income and we're gonna go to the tax tables. So remember, those are on Schoology. Just gonna switch it over here and scroll down, 72,321. So we got a ways to scroll. Too far. Too far. Okay. A 72 right here. And let's make this bigger. 72,321. We're doing married filing jointly, so I want that number right there. Okay, and that goes into our 1040 line 16. Okay, write it down, then I'll switch it back over. 8239. Okay, so there's our what we owe. Remember, well, we don't have any child tax credits or anything else in here. So your total tax is 8,239. And then now we go find our federal income that was withheld. So go back to the first page of our notes. And they withheld. They tell us what they withheld. Oh, nope, that's like state real estate. That's weird. I'm gonna hit pause because I can't find this amount. Okay, I really can't find it. We'll just make one up. Let's say federal tax income withheld was 15,000. Okay, and then that would go here. They don't have any of these things. Okay, so then we're going to put our 15,000 here. That's our total payments. So then they overpaid, so we can figure out their refund. Okay, so remember you're subtracting these two, what they owe, what they paid, or what they owe, and this is what they paid. Okay, so subtract those, that tells you what your refund is, so they're gonna get that amount back, okay? All right, so when they are done, they're gonna take their 1040. They're gonna take their, I'm gonna sign that thing, they're gonna take their 1040, they're gonna take their Schedule B, their Schedule A, and, oops. This one with, yeah, and their Schedule 1. And all of these, Schedule 1, A, B, and the 1040, they all get sent together when they mail it in. Okay. All right, that gets us through that. So you'll have some of these on your assignment, so make sure you get your assignment done and check your answers as you go with the 1040 answer key that I have. Also, be sure to be ready for the partner quiz on Thursday, where you're going to do one with a partner and with a different scenario. So you get lots of practice in the next little while using these different schedules. And remember, you can always just rewind, pause, go back wherever you need to. Send me any emails if you have any questions. All right, good stuff.